continue. The yellows and the pink colors farther toward the northwest, that's as this system is intensifying and will later become a typhoon over the weekend or early next week. So this is the overnight polar orbiting satellite pass. This is showing the wind speeds over the surface, and I hope you can see my mouse. This was taken around 9 o'clock, Thursday evening, not Friday evening. This is 9 o'clock Friday evening, showing the center of circulation somewhere just west of the atoll in Chuuk State here. It has since moved toward the northwest a little bit. This is a 7 a.m. position based on our 7 a.m. advisory. The concern is these stronger winds. The yellows, those are 20 to 25 knot winds over the open water, and the reds, those are 25 to 35 knot winds. Those are primarily gusts associated with heavy convection, eventually whipping around. And we're gonna see all of this drift our way through today and overnight tonight. Oh, there we go. So I'm taking a closer view of our 7 a.m. bulletin, and I'm showing you the wind timing plot for Northern Guam or Mauricio, that star right there. And this is what we're looking at. Our biggest concern are those 34 knot winds or 39 mile per hour damaging winds. That's what we base our tropical storm watches and warnings on. So at Mauricio, our closest point of approach, we're looking at late this evening, about 125 miles south of Mauricio. And again, this time is later this evening, but those 34 knot winds, they're still going to be offshore, about 53 miles offshore. If we see that curve toward the northwest occur later than currently forecast, these values, these distances will be a little bit closer. And thus, where our concern is, we are issuing a tropical storm watch with our advisory this morning. And that basically means there is a possibility of tropical storm force winds reaching Guam and the coastal waters later today and overnight tonight. So again, tropical storm watch means tropical storm force winds are possible, not expected, but they're possible as the system passes by. We're going to be watching this closely. Since we have a watch now in effect for Guam, we are updating our public and marine forecasts for the island every 6 hours instead of every 12 hours. And our public advisories go out every 6 hours at 8 a.m., 8 p.m., 2 a.m., and 2 p.m. We'll be issuing intermediate advisories every 3 hours between that. So we're going to be issuing more information out of that. And you can find this all on our webpage, weather.gov/Guam. This morning, we had a number of advisories in effect for some heavy showers and thunderstorms that passed over the island around 6:30 this morning, including a severe thunderstorm warning that was for the heavier shower cell that moved over Jigo Anderson Air Force Base, where they did clock in a wind gust upwards of 50 miles per hour. So we will see those wind gusts through the day, tonight, and overnight with those heavier showers, because just a couple thousand feet above the ground surface are those stronger winds, and the heavier showers will bring those winds down to the surface. As far as rainfall expectations, this definitely does not appear to be a rain event for us. Looking at a 24-hour rain total now through midday Saturday, we're looking at 2 to 4 inches of rain, and a lot of that's probably going to fall today through midnight tonight. 2 to 4 inches of rainfall through Saturday noon. Locally higher amounts are possible, as they are with this case, and the key to that will rely closely on where the heaviest convection sets up in relation to the core of this depression, and also where the rain bands will set up. If we have a rain band keep south and offshore of Guam, our rainfall totals will be less. But if we have those rain bands start moving up over the island, then we can see locally higher amounts upwards of 5 or 6 inches. Flash flooding is a possibility, as with every tropical system that moves through the region. Currently, we have no flood advisories, watches, or warnings in effect. We'll be watching that over the next 18 hours to see how that changes. And if we see a lot of inbound heavy showers and thunderstorms and convection coming toward the islands, we'll issue flash flood warnings accordingly. So again, not so much of a rain event with this tropical depression. And we could see the wetter conditions today and through the tonight hours with a drier Saturday. And on that note, we are looking at an earlier passage. This thing has been speeding up just a little bit. We are looking at that possibility of the last 1.5 days. Some of the models were bringing a passage early Saturday, while others were waiting for a passage Saturday afternoon. That timeline has been increasing. It's been occurring faster. We're looking at a passage now early Saturday morning or as early as tonight. So sometime the CPA will pass south of Guam anywhere from late tonight through early Saturday morning. As far as our forecasts, we are expecting seas to build through the afternoon, evening hours, becoming hazardous to small craft. So we could see combined seas out in the open waters between 8 and 10 feet, and they could be higher still south of Guam. For the surf, surf will also build as the winds increase across the region. The swells start to pick up. Surf could become hazardous later today. Right now, we're looking at 7 to 9 feet surf along east-facing reefs, eventually spreading toward the south-facing reefs as this thing passes. That will generate a high risk of rip currents along east and south-facing reefs. And again, high surf advisories are not in effect, but that's possible later today. The winds will be increasing through the day. We've had a lot of gusty conditions with the heavier showers. We're going to be looking at sustained winds of 20 to 25 miles per hour with gusts to between 30 and 40 miles per hour. Locally higher gusts are possible with those showers. The next forecast cycle will be coming through later this morning. So we're going to be looking at the latest data from the models as well as the observations out of the water. We're also going to have new satellite passes over the region by midday. So we're going to have a better feel for what the winds are doing, as well as any further intensification with this depression. Current advisories, we do have a small craft advisory. Also, I believe the operations just issued a marine weather statement to include that tropical weather watch. That's all on our webpage. High surf advisory currently not in effect, but that's possible later this afternoon. The winds, and this is the key again, we have a tropical storm watch in effect for Guam and the Guam coastal waters. That's for the possibility of sustained winds of 39 miles per hour or greater. That is currently not expected at this time. So that is the key to this situation. As is the case with these developing situations, it's always very tricky for timing and intensities because these things tend to take their time to come together and start consolidating and then start moving through the region. So again, we have that possibility of tropical storm force conditions over and near Guam, but that is not expected at this time with the data and the models we're looking at. And again, flash flooding is a possibility if the heavy showers and rain bands set up over the islands. Currently, we have no flash flood products in effect right now. And this is just a summary. Tropical storm watch means damaging winds of 39 to 73 miles per hour are possible from a developing tropical storm. And for us, that's going to be within the next 24 hours. Is there a possibility of a tropical storm warning? Yeah, that's definitely possible. We're going to be assessing tropical depression at Atsani through the morning and see how it's progressing, how it's consolidating, and if we have that need for a warning. At this time, I do not expect that to be the case for us, and definitely no typhoon warning. Go into our webpage, weather.gov/Guam. This is where you can find all of our bulletins. Go to our current hazards here on the center of the screen. Click on tropical cyclones. That's where you will find the public advisories, the intermediate advisories. As of 9 o'clock this morning, we should be issuing local statements giving more detailed weather forecasts and outlooks for what to expect on Guam. This is only for Guam because we have a tropical storm watch in effect. You're not going to see localized information on these bulletins for Rota, Tinian, and Saipan because they are currently not under a tropical storm watch. Again, that's only for Guam at this time. Also for the local forecast, we're issuing these every 6 hours. Click on forecasts in the middle of the screen and you'll find the Mariana Island forecasts, the surf zone forecasts, as well as Micronesia products and our discussion. These are updated every 6 hours, and then our marine forecasts also there for the coastal waters of the Mariana Islands, and then our Facebook page, which will be updating that through the day. So I don't know, am I taking questions right now or after the media?
Landon?
Yes.
Okay. So I recognize that most of the participants came in late, and I recognize that there's a limitation to the number of participants and some were not able to make it.
Okay.
I suggest that we don't take questions and answers at this time, but
Okay.
set up another similar call 5 minutes from now. Is that okay?
Okay.
So for the rest of the participants, if you were able to cover the entire presentation of London, please feel free to exit so that we can accommodate all others. We will set up a question and answer session later on this morning, specific for response activity coordinators. For our friends in the media, please centralize all questions to Jamie. And if Landon is available, we can also set up an interview with Landon via Zoom. We can accommodate that for you guys. Just coordinate with Jamie. Is that okay, Landon?
That works for me.
Okay, so